I think we're good.
Hey!
I think that's
Hey! Welcome
Hello.
to Bit Chat, everybody. How you doing today?
I hate
I just got a little southern too.
Yeah, you did.
It's like a disease.
Yeah, Southern
That's what-
disease.
I'm your host Angelo Oriam. Alongside me is the beautiful Noah Bullard,
I don't know about beautiful.
the gorgeous Parker Carlson,
I don't know about gorgeous.
and the
Inside.
That's
Outside.
we're just gonna say drop dead gorgeous. I said gorgeous for you, but he's drop dead.
Oh,
gorgeous
okay,
for Logan
okay.
Lewis.
If you watch this, you're gonna die.
Today we're going to talk about some Game of the Year jazz. This is our last episode of 8-Bit Chat. This is the season finale, the mid-season finale. I don't know what's going to happen next semester, so
Yeah.
this could be the last one ever.
It's gonna get canceled.
This could be the last thing with us ever on.
Yeah.
This
I-
could,
If the station decides to renew the contract, you might see us again, but
maybe.
this could be it.
If we all get fired from the Real Deal or kicked out of the UML, this might be it.
We could
For our
get fired
first-
from the BBC and then picked up by Amazon.
Yeah,
You know,
hopefully.
Yeah,
Or
Like
Netflix.
Tucker.
I think Netflix is getting rid of shows.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
So maybe Hulu or something. But anyway, we're going to get right into it. Okay, so this year, it could have seemed like it went quick, could have seemed like it took a long time, but nonetheless, no matter how you think about it, a lot of games came out this year.
Several
they did.
games.
Yes, they
Looking
did.
through the
at
list-
Several.
There was at least 4 of them.
Yeah, at
That came.
least four.
Four, it's 4 or plus.
4 plus.
At the least 4, like the little,
Yeah.
the little minus arrow thing.
Yeah,
that
the
little
plus
part.
minus- yeah.
alligator.
The
or-
alligator.
Yeah.
There you go. A lot of games
go
came
Florida.
out this year.
They did.
I want to run through. We'll talk about some games, and at the end we'll talk about our game of the year and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's see. So we'll just start right out with the bat. I'm just going in order that Google popped them up for me.
Google, not a
But
sponsor.
thankfully, it's the game that we all played. And it's been the topic of the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we're not going to talk that long about it, but it's Red Dead Redemption
Oh,
2.
yes.
Logan and I completely beat it.
We did.
Noah's very close to beating
I
it.
am, yes.
And Parker is in the old
Oh, beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I'm
beginning.
just getting started.
What are your thoughts, Parker, considering we've already voiced our opinions more?
Yeah. I love it. I love playing the game, but the game, you don't play it often. There's a lot of just writing, and that's so
fair, yeah.
annoying. And
Oh, riding, like...
yeah, just riding your
riding.
horse.
I thought you meant riding.
No.
like, yeah.
Yeah, there's just so much like downtime where you don't do anything. And like,
Yeah.
but if you cut that out, it's like an amazing game, one of my favorites of all time. And it's so realistic. If I look at like horses pooping one more time,
Oh my
like
God.
oh god.
I don't
Every
feed my
time
horse.
you stop, it
I feed
happens.
my horse
Hey.
enough for it to be going about.
I know.
Every time I put my horses in the stable, the guy always like criticizes me. He's like, "Are you not feeding your horse? Like it's so skinny."
Question: have any of you ever actually ridden a horse?
No.
No.
No. Oh,
They
wait.
poop all the time. Like all the time.
Noah Bullard.
TIL, I'm a horse.
Surprise.
If I poop all the time and a horse poops all the time, I am a horse.
Transitive property.
Yeah.
If I have
Mathematically,
skin and
you
potato
are
has
a horse.
skin,
Yeah.
I am a
I'm
potato.
just saying,
Yes.
you've never seen a horse and Angelo in the same room before.
That's I've never ridden on a horse.
Yeah.
Because a horse cannot ride a horse.
Exactly.
That is law.
That would be weird.
That is nature.
Makes
Another
sense.
game that came out this year. You spend a lot of time in nature. God of War came out this year.
It did.
I love that game a lot. We'll talk about it later on. Wink, wink.
Wink,
We'll talk about
wink.
games of the year. Did anyone else play that game by chance?
I didn't.
It got me playing the first 2 God of Wars
That's
in
good.
preparation, but I'm still trying to get the third one so that way I can get to the.
Yeah, there's the trilogy, and then there's all the other ones. You just need to play the trilogy.
Yeah,
but I
that's fine.
highly recommend. I'm glad that you're doing that because a lot of people. I dropped my phone. I'm gonna kill it.
Good job.
A lot of people are
Professional.
just diving into the game itself.
I can't do that.
You can't-
I
you
need to
shouldn't
have
do
like
it.
all the source material.
Because you
first.
could, but because it is a sequel. Like a lot of people think it's
Yeah.
just a remake or
Reboot.
reboot, but it's not. Like it is a sequel, even though it could, I guess, work as a reboot in some
Yep.
ways. So the callbacks and whatnot are well worth it.
Yeah, playing from the second game and then like just looking about what the latest
Yeah.
one is about, I have no idea what happens in between.
Yeah.
Like it's a massive difference. So I'm like, I really need to finish the third one.
It's a really good journey.
I can't wait to play and verbally abuse my son.
That's the whole point. That's the thing is that this was the year of boys. Because it's
Yeah.
boy,
Yeah,
and
boy.
it's boa.
Boy.
Good boy.
Good
boy.
Good boy.
Good.
All right, now that we've been through everyone's Arthur Morgan impressions,
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then so next up, another one that's a key one this year that Parker and I were actually on together to talk about. The old Spidey, Wibbin and
Spidey
Webbin.
Man.
Yeah, Spidey Man.
Yes.
This is a good game.
Spider person.
Has anyone besides me and Parker played it?
Not touched it. No.
I haven't played it, but one of my roommates just 100%ed it yesterday.
Yeah.
And
So that's kind of like you. That's like you 25%.
I was there.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
there
yeah,
for
kind
a
of,
lot
yeah.
of it. I watched
Yeah.
him play a lot of the game, and looks a lot of fun. he said it kind of got repetitive towards the end.
Especially
Yeah.
when you're 100%ing it.
Yeah,
it
oh,
does.
yeah,
It
Right.
really
He
does.
said it got very repetitive towards the end. But other than that, he said that it left a huge hole once he'd beaten the game. He just was just kind of like sitting in bed and was like,
Yeah.
what else do I do? with
Where's my life go from here?
yeah.
That's,
Like,
kind of, that's all these 3 so far.
Yeah,
Honestly,
honestly.
yeah.
Red Dead, God of War, and Spider-Man are 3 games they said I was like,
Man.
I kind of want to keep playing, but they're done. Like, you know, it's, well, I guess Red Dead you can keep going forever, but
Yeah.
Spider-Man and God of War is kind of like,
You just like
you
go
beat
around
it,
the
and it's like, I
buildings,
guess you can
just
walk
swing
around.
from buildings and.
Yeah, that was, I think my favorite thing about Spider-Man was that, we talked about it on the podcast, it's a surprisingly, hi the guy teasing us outside the glass. It's a surprisingly good story in addition to
Dude,
gameplay,
nice
too.
Fortnite dance.
That is probably, that's what I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
When it
We'll
comes
save it.
Yeah.
We'll save it.
Save it.
We can put a pin in it.
Yeah.
But we're going to take it out. And
We're
we're
gonna
going to
take
talk
it
about
out.
But eventually
yeah.
we'll get there. We'll
We're
get
gonna
there.
make sure it's
We'll get there.
cooked.
Some other good ones. We can start going in bursts here.
Like we did.
Does anyone have any thoughts on Monster Hunter World, Far Cry 5, or A Way Out? I didn't play any of those.
I
I've
did
started
not.
Monster Hunter World, but haven't gotten far.
I played Monster Hunter World, you know, not to completion, but like I got a good portion of the way through.
Yeah, it's nominated for Game of the Year.
It's a really good game, but I just like, I completely understand why people love it. I just can't get into it. I'm just like, I have to force myself to finish it.
Yeah.
What was the other ones? A Way Out.
Uh-huh.
I played about like an hour of it with my friend. It is, it's a great game. You can literally spend, I think we spent an hour playing horseshoes.
Oh, okay.
Mini games. So
That's kinda
it's like,
like-
it's
that's
yeah,
like
yeah,
one,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's
It's poetry.
exactly like
It
that.
all rhymes. I kind of want to play it. I got the ending spoiled for me. Actually, a
I
good
hate when
ending.
that happens.
Do you did anyone else get the ending spoiled for them? Did you finish it?
No.
So no one knows the ending. Good.
I literally
It's
played
actually
4
good.
hours of horseshoes.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
It's
lying.
a really good game. And like I said, it's one of those things where not even knowing the first 90% of it, when I found out the end, I was like, that actually, I wish I didn't get it spoiled, but I think that's a better game than I probably gave it credit
Yeah.
for. So I do recommend it.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't played it.
I played a little bit of Far Cry 5. It's one of those games again where you can just get lost doing
Yeah.
mindless things for hours. Like I was reading a Twitter thread.
Little Twitter thread.
So a Twitter thread about people that were just going fishing and sharing
That's endearing.
their catches on Twitter
That is
with each
endearing.
other.
My dad plays Far Cry 5. He will call me up and he'll be like, "Hey, I just spent like the past 3 hours fishing."
That's the
Yeah.
most,
like honestly, yeah,
that's
it's
the most wholesome thing I've ever heard.
seen.
No,
Yeah.
it's the thing where you mow down.
There's a whole community on Far Cry 5 of people that just hang out and fish.
The virtual
get it.
fishing community on Far Cry is insane.
The VFC.
VFC.
And so I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole here real quick if you'll allow
Okay.
me.
Go
A
for it.
fishing
That's
hole,
fine.
if you will.
So fishing games, like the Capella
Yeah.
fishing games that exist.
Oh yeah, singing without music or anything? Capella?
Yeah,
God.
my
yeah,
God.
that.
Stop
No, there's a whole
One
genre
more,
of
and
games
you're off
that
the show.
exist for the eccentric gamer that are, I mean, they're fishing games. They're just fishing games. And Far Cry 5 has almost ruined that market because the fishing simulation in Far Cry 5 is so good.
Yeah.
And like people have gone on just rants and raves about how good the fishing in Far Cry 5 is. And if that's the only redeeming factor that game has, I don't care.
That's kind of
That's all it needs.
Honestly.
I like the idea of it being a shooter, but people are spending like $20 on it just for fishing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really wholesome. You said it yourself.
Oh
Logan.
my god.
Some other good games this year. Well, actually, let's delve into the not good games this year. We got some other good ones. We got some Detroit Become Human. If anyone wants to talk about that.
I didn't touch it.
Yeah, I didn't either. I watched a playthrough of it. Jurassic World Evolution, I didn't. Darksiders 3, all that's kind of new. The two biggest disappointments of the year are 2 games that took series that are well known and kind of did a little twisty-do.
Did a little boy.
Loop-de-doo.
Little
Yeah.
loop-de-do. Little loopsy-doopsy.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
loop it,
saying?
you
Got
switch
it.
it, and you pull.
Yeah.
Namely, that is Metal Gear Survive, which turned
Okay.
Metal Gear Solid, the stealth game, into a zombie game.
That's a little whoop-de-doo to you? That's
a big whoop.
That's a
That's a-
big
that's a
whoop-de-doo.
boom.
That's a huge whoop.
Has everyone played it?
No.
Okay, I'm not touching it. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, the Metal Gear franchise
It's
started to
absurd.
take that turn when they started like who's alive and who's not alive, and who are the monster people and who isn't.
Yeah, I've played the whole series and it makes no sense.
No.
But still,
I don't know what's going on.
makes zombies make even less sense. Nonetheless.
Yeah.
And then Logan has purchased.
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't buy it. My wholesome father.
This is
Jay
actually a really
Lewis,
sweet story.
Yeah, my wholesome father Jay Lewis. He asked me what I wanted for Christmas. I gave him a couple game ideas, and he was like, "Okay, the two you want, which one do you want?" And I told him one of them, and he said, "Well, I got you both by accident."
Aww.
He did it by
Cheers for
accident.
Logan's dad.
Cheers for my dad, good old Jay Lewis. So I got that over Thanksgiving break.
Fallout 76. is what we're
Fallout
talking
76, yeah. I've put probably between 5 and 10 hours somewhere around it, and I just want people to play it with, honestly, because it's just a multiplayer game now, and like, you can't really do any RPG style stuff with it. Like I've been trying to solo it, and I don't want to touch it unless like other people have it now.
So there's the thing about Fallout is that there's no NPCs in this game.
There isn't.
Yeah.
There are no NPCs.
So are all the quests just like text?
No,
documents,
they're on
or-
holotapes. Like Fallout 4 when they introduced holotapes. they're
That was
all-
my least favorite part of Fallout
yeah,
4.
You find holotapes and you play them and stuff like that. So
Does it feel as empty as you'd think it?
yes.
There you go.
Yeah,
Wait.
it's the only other characters that aren't like other players are like the enemies, of course, and then there are robot traders. That's it. There are just traders around like trade posts that are just robots.
I thought you meant traders.
Like
Yeah.
trainer.
Benedict Arnold.
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
game.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm just looking for people to play it with. I think if I had people to play it with, I think I'd play it a lot more. But it's just empty right now.
Is
to
there
be
like
honest.
much to do in it, like raids or like?
Yeah, there
is
are
it just-
like there are events and missions and stuff, but like, you don't get rewarded a lot for a lot of the events. They're just like ammo dumps where you lose all your ammo. You don't get a lot back. You don't get a lot of caps back. It's just Bethesda has handled this game super poorly.
Yeah, well, especially
Yeah.
apparently conversation-wise, now they're just not talking, and that's apparently a big thing
Yeah,
too.
and they're just giving like copy paste responses on like any forum or something.
Yeah, and like the whole thing with the Power Armor Edition, which is the $200 Mega Edition, they were promised a super cool bag.
Yeah.
This super like good canvas bag, and now it's like it got shipped like a nylon piece of trash, and people are really mad.
So how do you feel like the last thing about it is like how do you feel about because like Skyrim and Fallout 4, those are the two main. I played a little New Vegas and stuff. Those are the main Bethesda games
Yeah.
I played. And I think most people have played.
Yeah.
How is like character building at all? Like, do you feel like did you just make your character like there can't be a lot of choices?
Yeah,
right?
'cause it's
I never even thought about this.
It's less of an RPG game.
Well,
It's all
I mean, like you can still create your character. Like in the beginning, it's the same as Fallout 4, but like in regards to like if you want to do like a specific build, that's pretty much eliminated because with the new perk system. It's way different than any other Fallout game, and you can change your perks and your playstyle instantly. So, like, you can be whatever you want. You can be a RBIE Barbie girl, and you can be whatever you want. And it's taken away the building aspect. I broke Parker with that joke.
It was
It
like an
doesn't
onion.
deserve laughing.
I kept peeling apart the layer. I was like, oh, he spelled out B-A-R-B girl.
Yeah.
It's very smart.
BAR.
I'm trying to
You're
be
wise beyond your years.
But
Yeah.
but
He
no,
only
so
half
like
spelled it out.
What?
BARB.
but
But the B is
the second
Barb-
half is
IE.
the word.
Yeah.
yeah,
But he
Barbie.
didn't spell it all the
Barbie.
way out.
shrimp on the Barbie.
Wow.
We're Australian now.
That'd be weird if he put shrimp on a Barbie.
Anyway,
Back to
Fallout
Fallout.
76.
but no, so
Welcome
yeah,
to Shrimpcast.
Shrimpcast. But like the build aspect is pretty much destroyed for Fallout 76. You can't do specific characters or role play because role playing games, but
Yeah.
it's more of an MMORPG where you're playing with other people and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just empty.
I don't like numbered reviews, but 5 hours in, that's not a lot, especially for a Bethesda game. But what-ish are you thinking? Like the area, 8s or 9s, 5 and 6, something like
Like a 4.5.
4.5.
Like a
Ooh,
5.
that's actually lower than
maybe.
I thought. Wow.
It's just so empty. Like I'm bored. I'm level 10 and I'm bored.
I feel
already.
bad for everyone, including your dad, because
I
it came out for
know!
it came out for $60, and last week it was $30.
30?
It got down to 30.
Oh my.
I know.
It's
So-
just dropping. I mean,
It's kind of crappy, but
Yeah.
it's what it is.
Lost a lot.
It's also more fun with friends.
Yeah, I don't have those,
Specifically.
Michael.
I don't have any friends.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Also, it's really I feel like you have to hunt to find interesting quests.
There you go.
Yeah,
Because
I
I've
feel that.
stumbled upon the most interesting quest I've found. I completely stumbled upon randomly,
Okay. Well, that's good world building at least. Okay, and then.
but it has terrible world building to contradict you.
Okay.
Okay.
It's all holotapes and terminals. That's
Yep.
it.
Gotcha.
Well, real quick, apparently it says that Fallout 76 is already down 82.4% when it comes to sales. Already, and it came out like not even a month
I
ago.
just feel bad for the dedicated fans.
Yeah,
of
that's
that one, genuinely. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, I've heard good things about
Assassin's
the
Creed.
game.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the problem with Assassin's Creed Odyssey was that it was one of those games that didn't get going until you were 20 hours in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about
That's
that.
what I
And then-
heard. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's weird.
And then once you actually get going, other games came out.
Right.
It's like I wanted to play more. Like
Red Dead
yeah,
came out like 2
right.
weeks. It came out like 2 weeks after.
And so
Right.
as soon as I got ready to like actually get into the meat and potatoes of Odyssey, I'm like, oh well,
And-
there are better things.
Better ones.
Yeah, there's better meals to eat.
Yeah.
Here's my hot take.
Hot take,
for the
ladies and gentlemen.
podcast. It's just that all the other games that were released right around the same time as Red Dead messed up by doing that. Because here's why. Because we're on the 4th Black Ops installment, right?
Yeah.
People are getting
No
kinda,
single player, too, yeah.
Right. People are getting a little worn out with the Black Ops stuff. Battlefield 5 came out.
Next game we'll talk about.
Yeah,
Hint,
Battlefield
hint,
5
wink,
came out.
wink.
We'll get there.
He's the only one who
Battlefield
played
5 came out. Assassin's Creed Odyssey came out, and these are the 4 big titles
Yeah.
this year. I mean, not to discount Fallout 76, but it didn't have quite as much hype as those 4 titles did.
That's fair.
And I think all 3 of those titles would have done better for themselves by going for
Like a July
either-
release or something like
or
that.
even pushing them back and going
Yeah.
year-end releases or
Or like
Christmas
January
releases.
or February
Exactly.
or any
Yeah.
other time.
Well, Fallout
And
could
it-
have used the more time to develop.
They,
Yeah,
they
they
could have used
could've.
like 18 more years, I think.
Right,
in a
because
different game.
the marketing for Red Dead 2 was exceptional. It
Phenomenal,
was so
yeah.
good. And the hype for it, which they didn't even really have to create because people that played the original Red Dead games have been waiting on this game
They didn't
for so
They didn't even need to
long.
market Red Dead 2.
No.
It's just the hype.
They could have put out Red Dead 2 coming
Dead-
soon, and everyone would have been
I
fine.
stand by this for Avengers, the next Avengers, and Grand Theft Auto 6. In my perfect world, they would just release like a screen of the logo, and that's it.
And
And,
yeah.
the date.
Yeah.
I wish, but that'll never happen.
Right.
But those are 2 markets. Rockstar and Marvel could.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't have to do anything, and
Yeah,
then people
no.
flock.
So yeah, that's my hot take. Battlefield
Yeah.
5, Call of Duty 4, Assassin's Creed Odyssey should have either pushed to release earlier or released later than Red Dead 2.
Yeah. Well, Call of Duty specifically always has this date anyway.
Yeah.
or this-
Right.
So what are you thinking of Battlefield 5? Speak of the devil.
the devil.
At first glance, it feels like a carbon copy of Battlefield 1. It really does. And I hate to say that because I wanted it to be different. I wanted it to be a different looking, different feeling game. But
This is back to World War II?
2, yes. So Battlefield 1 was set in the First World War. Now we're on to the Second.
Dude, I can't wait to the Cold War where nothing happens.
Just yelling
But
at each other
I
over
feel
mics.
like
I'll do it. Sorry. What?
I feel like once you go back and look at it, once you dig into the game a little bit more, it's way more intuitive. There are way more player options, customization options, and I feel like Battlefield 5 will release more, like weapon skins and character skins, things like that. They'll get that on their way, but it's good right now.
Okay.
It's a good first-person shooter, and that's the bare bones of it.
Okay. So I got a question. As like a diehard Battlefield fan, I played Battlefield 1, and I was like, I had a lot of fun the first couple hours.
Right.
But it's a very shallow game.
It
There's
is.
like hardly any
So-
customization, and like you said, it's kind of similar to.
Right. It's similar to that in that it's definitely EA being like, you need to buy the premium edition if you want to have fun with this game, which sucks.
That's
but
awful. Yeah.
I pre-ordered it. I went ahead and got the premium one.
Yeah.
And you know the DLCs. That's what made Battlefield 1 good. And EA started doing that in Battlefield 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It was really noticeable in Battlefield 4 and
Right.
Yep. Oh.
Battlefield
3,
3 was a
4,
really
1.
well. Battlefield
5.
3 was a really well fleshed out game, and that's why.
These boys don't know how to count. 3, 4, 1,
I never once thought about the fact that we went back to 5. That's worse.
Yeah. No, Battlefield 3 was a really well fleshed out game, and I don't think that's why it was as noticeable. When you move on to Battlefield 4, Battlefield Hardline, Battlefield 1, you really start to notice from a bare bones perspective how shallow, like you said, those games are. Until you start releasing the new maps
Yeah.
and the new weapons and
it's
things like
fresh, and it's like, it gets
Right.
deeper.
It's almost got the Rainbow Six Siege effect with the
okay.
seasons where they release new operators and the game's completely changed because of the play styles and things.
Yeah.
But I'm about 12 to 15 hours in, I would say, and I'm really starting to like it. I think that it's going to be a good game. I think it's average right now.
Okay.
It's better than Black Ops 4.
Really?
I'll say that.
Okay.
Once because
Because I'm getting Black Ops 4 for Christmas, humble brag. But
Oh, look at me.
look at me.
Look at my
getting
privilege.
video games.
this is the thing that made me mad about it, and this is the last thing I'll say about Battlefield 4 before I give it a decent
Wait.
number.
Battlefield 5? Or
Yeah, Battlefield 5.
Battlefield
What number
12.
are we on?
I don't.
Battlefield
there's like
1,
1,000.
Battlefield 2, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Battlefield Hardline, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5.
What about Bad Company 2?
Oh,
There's
that's-
2 Bad Company games.
Was Bad Company before or after 3?
Before.
Before.
There was.
So,
So
Battlefield 2, Battlefield Bad Company.
So-
There's 8 of them.
So if you add the 5,
and then
and you
Battlefield
divide it,
2142 or something.
1738, and then you get
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
get 7.
Fallout 1, 2, 3, New Vegas 4, 76.
Okay.
Video games don't make no sense.
Yeah.
So the one thing that really made me mad about Battlefield 5 was that they pushed the game back, right? They pushed the
Yeah.
release back, which I think was a good decision because it let the Red Dead hype die down a little
Yeah.
bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Little bit.
Just a wee bit.
Just a bit.
And the game wasn't finished, and that's why they pushed it back. But I think it ended up being okay for them marketing-wise. However, where they screwed this up, and they screwed it up big time, they touted very highly their Battle Royale mode. And I was really...
There's a battle royale
Yes,
mode in
there
there.
is.
I didn't
forgot that was
hear
a
about
thing.
that until
Blackouts
you
what
ju-
swallowed it to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's supposed to be nuts, like tanks, planes, the whole 9 yards. I don't know how they're going to do it.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to do it, but it looks insane.
Oh, it's not out yet?
It's not released. There's a little corner button. It's called, I think it's called Turning Point, is the name of the blackout.
Why
mode.
we haven't heard of it yet.
Yeah.
And it's in the corner of the multiplayer.
And it's just
screen,
darkened out,
and it
right?
just
You
says,
can't click
it's
on it.
grayed out, and it says December 6th.
Okay, so it's
So
like,
it's, ne- it's
Okay.
next
It-
week.
they've got a release date for it, but the game came out on the 20th. That was the first playable date for pre-order customers. Was the 20th.
They should just release the game December 6th.
And
They
right,
really should've.
that's what I'm saying. Why would you
good
put
point.
out a game that's not done? So the
Back to Fallout
multiplayer,
76.
Yeah.
the multiplayer menu has 4 boxes on it, right? There's multiplayer, there's breakthrough, which is a game mode that they're like featuring. They kept that feature where they like highlight a specific game mode.
That
So
you
there's the
can join and
multiplayer
everything.
menu where you
They
can pick
still have
whatever
War
you
Stories?
want. Yeah. They have the multiplayer menu, they have the featured game mode, and then it's turning point and firing range. And neither of those come out. One comes out on the 6th, the other one comes out on the 9th. It's just stupid.
Stop.
It's dumb.
Why- what is
we
up with
tell
this?
game companies to stop.
It's just EA.
time
It's just
to
EA
stop.
being stupid. And I
meme,
honestly
partner.
think that Battlefield 5 will be the last EA game that I ever purchase.
Whoa!
Oh, that's some big fighting
Oh,
words
big
right there.
talk over here.
Ooh.
big
Ooh.
talk.
Big talking, little
I'm
China.
tired of it.
No, I respect that.
Because-
Put your foot down.
Yeah.
They did it right with Battlefront 2, in that they took away
yeah.
microtransactions.
After
they
a couple
do it
months,
right?
They
did it
didn't
right
do
with
it.
Battlefield.
No, I don't think I don't think they did it right.
They did away, but they did away with microtransactions.
That's true.
and
Tried to
that's
help
what they
fix it.
needed to do.
They tried to fix it.
Now, I'm tired of them not putting out fully fleshed out games
Mm-hmm.
and making people pay for DLCs. It's dumb.
Well,
and
that's, sorry, no, yeah.
no, go ahead.
Well, what I was saying is that's honestly kind of my thing with COD is that I understand people not playing single player. That's totally fine. I don't understand in terms of you talking about unfinished games. Why is Call of Duty without the single player, the same multiplayer, the same amount of multiplayer. They added one new mode, but they got rid of single player, the same price as it usually is. They took stuff out and still charge the same. It does.
Well,
EA's pretty weird.
No, they
Or just games and I guess.
Yeah.
Well, never mind.
Yeah. Well, those are the two main shooters, right?
Yes.
So they're kind of feeding off of each other, going back and forth. How can we counter what Treyarch's doing, or how can we counter what EA and Frostbite are doing? It's just this back and forth that I don't think is healthy for either of the franchises,
it
because
isn't.
we started to see the DLC crap almost 10 years ago.
Yep.
You know, it's just, and it's grown to this monstrous beast that is just money hungry, and it's how many honest gamers can we trick into buying stuff for games that aren't that good?
Yeah. It's fair.
My thought on why it's still $60 is if they made it cheaper, it would. I think they think it would look more like an indie title because indie titles are seen as cheaper.
But it's called Call
yeah,
of
it's
Duty.
Call of Duty. Like
Call of Duty 4 is not an indie title.
Yeah, I know, but it's the perception. Also, games used to be $49.99 anyway, so.
$10 is not worth half a game being missing.
Anyway, okay, so moving on, just I forgot to mention Celeste, which I feel very bad about because that's an incredible game.
I was going to bring that up actually.
Okay, we'll get there then.
Okay, we'll
My
get
bad.
there.
Okay. Super Smash comes out next week. Very excited about that. Other things are just kind of tangential at that point. Hitman 2,
Yeah.
Just Cause 4, that kind of thing. But I think we're at the point now, gents, where we can get into our each individual game of the year, maybe some runners up, that kind of stuff.
I have to push my sleeves up
We
even
gotta do
further.
oh yeah,
Right,
hold
okay.
on, it keeps
Hold on,
falling
yeah.
down.
Oh, well.
Wait, well, gotta go sleeves up. Okay,
Sleeves up?
You go sleeves up.
Beat you guys to the game.
Peace
Okay.
up, A-Town down.
Let's start with the lovely Logan Lewis.
All right.
So what's your game of the year? You got any nominees? Any honorable mentions? And whatnot?
Well, I haven't played a lot of new games this year, and I feel bad about it.
You can also you can do shout outs to just games you played this year.
Yeah, well, they're really old.
Okay.
Yeah, so like, it has to be Red Dead. It has to be. That game tore my heart out. It really, in the best way. Like, that's what you want stories to do, is you want them to make you feel something, and it made me feel everything and nothing at the same time. And like, not many games do that, and Red Dead did it perfectly. So, but I will say, and Angel and I were talking about this, up until you beat the game, 10 out of 10. Afterwards, like a 6. You don't really want to play it after you beat it.
It's weird.
There's like no end game.
No.
Apparently.
I can't really equate it honestly, because I guess here's the thing is that no spoilers or anything like that. In Grand Theft Auto, the reason there's so much time afterwards is because you can screw around.
Yeah.
In Red Dead, there's so much weight on your honor level and stuff like that. You don't.
Yeah.
But it's nonetheless.
Yeah, so my pick is Red Dead.
Okay. Parker.
Okay.
The perfect Parker Carlson. I'm gonna keep going with the alliteration.
Ooh, I like it. Okay. I'm gonna bring up a couple
Okay, go for it.
honorable mentions.
Yeah.
The floor
Honorable.
is yours.
Okay. So when I was thinking about this, and like
Good.
I've been looking forward to a couple games this entire year that I always thought would be like my game of the year. I was looking so much forward to Fallout 76 and Battlefield 5. Fallout 76, I love like New Vegas and like 3 and all these other Fallout games. I've ever since it came out, I have no urge to play it at all.
Unless you have like 5 friends
Yeah, but
playing it with you.
yeah, and I don't have friends. Oh.
That's fair.
Relatable.
Yeah.
And Battlefield 5, I'm like one of the most diehard Battlefield fans. Like I've played 3 religiously, 4 I loved absolutely.
3 is the prequel to 1.
One.
By the way.
Yeah. So I was looking forward to it so much earlier this year, and then when like halfway through the year, it just died in my perception. And I was looking up games for 2018. I didn't even know Battlefield 5 was released yet. I honestly was like genuinely surprised that I could go and buy it and play it right
Yeah,
now.
I saw like one ad for it
Honestly,
the entire
yeah.
time.
I saw like maybe a couple ads on like YouTube.
Yeah,
and
that
then
was
that
it.
was like a long time ago. So I'm like, so I'm very disappointed with that. But okay, actual game of the years. So honorable mention, Celeste. I played it out of nowhere because
Masterpiece.
Oh, so like, I was just like a low day. I'm like, you know what? I wanna play this game. I heard really good things about it, and I beat it in one day on my Switch. It's an indie game and it's perfect. Like,
Did
it's
you
got
play
a-
on the Joy-Cons?
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah,
it made it a lot worse.
Yeah,
but
it
still,
did.
great
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
but
great game. Incredibly hard, but I love the level of accessibility that the developer puts in. They can make you invulnerable. They can give you like an unlimited number of jumps and stuff, and they just make it so that way you can enjoy the story. Which is like it genuinely like. I was surprised. It tugged on my heartstrings when I was playing it because I'm like, wow, this is getting deep. It was like all about like mental illness and like anxiety and depression, and I like genuinely connected with these characters that don't talk. They just make like weird like. Yeah. So I loved Celeste, but it's not my game of the year. My game of the year, I said it earlier, Spider-Man.
I don't like that noise.
Yeah.
No.
So like the game gets really repetitive. There's nothing to do once you beat it. There's
This is not a good case. You're starting out
no.
real bad.
You
The
gotta
game
start.
sucks.
Yeah.
So,
the game
like, it's really
sucks,
bad, but it's my
you know?
game of the year.
Everything sucks.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. It's got a lot of bad things about it, but the story, in my opinion, is the best. I love it, and I'm the biggest Spider-Man fan, and this is genuinely my favorite Spider-Man story. It like you connect with all the characters. They fixed Mary Jane, which I always hated, because I'm tired of seeing her in like a damsel in distress role. She was
Help
like,
me, Spider-Man.
yeah, she was like her own woman in this, and while I didn't completely agree with her like going around fighting crime, like unsuperpowered, it was weird, but I
I'm
loved
gonna
it.
beat up this dude real quick.
Yeah. I loved it, and the ending, like, it brought tears to my eyes, and I'm on my second playthrough right now, in between Red Dead, but
It's a good game.
it's a good game.
Spider-Man's a very good game.
It's
You
a
should play
good game.
Spider-Man. It's a good game.
I should.
You should.
By the way, Spider-Man's a good game.
Hey, by the way.
Any
It's a good
other
game.
any other honorable mentions?
Red Dead. Red
Dead.
Dead 2. It's not my game of the year. It would be, but there's just I want to play the game, but every time I boot it up, I'm not playing the game. I'm just mashing the A button, and I'm like, okay, where's like the
Riding
nearest
a horse.
pelt? Yeah, I was like, all right, hunting down for like elk or something, and there's a lot of downtime. But so far, I'm only in the beginning of the story. It's really good. I love it. The voice acting's great. You know, it's just superb
Hold
in all
on.
those on all those fronts. But I want to play the game, and that's my only complaint. I
Fair,
just
fair,
wish
fair.
it was more streamlined.
Yeah. Spider-Man's much more of a play-y game.
Yeah,
than a
it is.
playable game.
Mhm.
So I have a couple big ones. Honorable mentions. Celeste for sure. Like, oh my god, this is one of those years too. Is that like, I was thinking back about how good this year was, and like last year Celeste would have been Game of the Year. The year before Celeste would have been Game of the Year. Red Dead would have been Game of the Year. Spoiler alert: neither of those are my Game of the Year. And Spider-Man. Like this was a really good year for games.
It was like some years it's like a definite lull, but other years like this one, it's hard to choose.
Or some years there's like one amazing game that stand out. Okay, so starting off the bat, God of War. I'm a massive God of War fan. Like you said, with Battlefield, and so all year I was like, it's gonna be my game of the year. It's gonna destroy. And I played and I was like, it's game of the year. I was like, that's one of my favorite games ever, and I love it. And then like I played Celeste and I played Red Dead, and I was like, is this my game of the year anymore? Like I had that, especially with Red Dead, where like I can't compliment God of War enough. But I played through Red Dead, and like I was talking to you because we were mostly at the same part, Logan and I. I kept talking. I was like, I can't get over how good this is. Like stem to stern, it was like it really is a 10 out of 10. Like it's perfect in my eyes until the ending, and it's not even just the ending that throws it off for me. Because I think the ending itself good. I just think the post game isn't great.
Yeah, I
But
agree
just
with
a
that.
couple things in general. I love Red Dead and I love Celeste. Florence was really good. That's a cute little mobile gaming I should play. Guacamelee, Spider-Man. Lots of good games, but God of War is my game of the year.
That's fair.
Kind of what you said is just like the same things with Spider-Man. It's kind of the same thing. Is like it's the perfect. The gameplay is awesome. It's fantastic. And the story is great. It doesn't sacrifice anything for anything.
Good.
Like it's one of those things where it's not like an open world like Red Dead where it'll take you 100 hours to do. It's like you can. It takes a long time to complete, but once you're done, it's reasonable. Like 30 hours, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done. You
Yeah.
experience the story. There's New Game Plus. I really adore that game.
Yeah,
I
and
think
one
it's
of the
really
things that I liked this year a lot is that there's a greater focus on linear games, just
Yeah.
like storytelling.
Good.
I love open world games, but sometimes I just need to take a break from them.
Well,
And like,
that's-
yeah, like Spider-Man and God of
that-
War.
that's
You know,
100%
it's just
fair.
like, you know, you just go and you play the story. And I can't applaud that enough.
That's the thing, yeah, is that Horizon last year, Spider-Man and God of War this year are, I guess God of War technically, they're open world games, but they're not. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a lot of open worlds now want to take your life away. Breath of the Wild, Witcher,
Yeah.
Red Dead, it's like they want you to play their game for hundreds of hours. Those 3 games in particular, like, you'll play it for a long time, but then you'll be done and you put it away. And I'm like, okay. And I think I
I'm
I
done.
like
I'm
that.
good.
Tie a bow on it, you know.
Absolutely.
All right, we're good.
Yeah, very good year for games. God of War, I can't say enough amazing things about. I just really, there are 2 moments in particular, one of which, in particular, and Parker-ticular. One moment, I guess specifically, is my favorite moment ever in a game. And maybe entertainment. Like, I'm not joking.
Wow.
If you play God of War 1, 2, and 3, and then you play God of War 2018, there's a moment in the story that's like, it's
You're hyping this up.
it's
It
unparalleled.
It better back up
I
these
can't.
words.
No, you
Oh,
can't
okay.
hype up that game too much. And I love that.
All
Game.
right, then I get. You know what? That's. I'm gonna advance that
Play
to
it.
the next game that I'm gonna
Do you
play
have
now.
PS3?
Everyone
you
say
have
hi,
to, 'cause you play
Celia.
1 and 2.
Hi,
Celia.
Celia.
I played 1 and 2 on a PS Vita, which is like completely dead.
That is not the right way to play it. Nonetheless,
That's
do
not
you-
the right way to
if-
play
do you-
any game.
do you
Yeah,
have-
no.
Do you have a PS3?
No, I do not.
I was gonna say because I
PS4.
have all the games I can lend to you. but-
Okay, yeah. Honestly, I'm probably gonna want to buy 3.
Okay.
You know, just to own it.
Good,
you know.
good. I highly recommend. Very, very good games. So Noah, the nifty, nice-looking Noah.
Ooh, alliteration.
What is your game of the year and what are your honorable mentions?
So my honorable mentions are going to be Battlefield 5 because of the potential that it has.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've talked about it enough, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Forza Horizon 4.
Okay.
Yeah. I've seen some gameplay. It looks fantastic.
Very well done.
Looks beautiful.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Oh.
Great car models, great open world model. I mean, it's a very, very pretty, fun to play. It's just a pleasing game. It's just one of those games, and it's playable. That's the thing that I like about it. You can just
It's a
hop
game.
in and just
Yeah.
you can just
Angel, I hate you.
play for hours, where you're just driving around. You're not doing anything important. You're just
Like drifting,
Yeah,
and
you're
going
just
off ramps and
screwing
stuff.
around, jumping off mountains and stuff, and you go through and you do the Horizon Festival and unlock all your cars and get your money and all that stuff. And that's
stack
fun.
it up.
But, you know, I had a time when I was playing it where I spent probably 6 hours on a weekend building a drag car and like trying to make the fastest straight line car I could find without buying like a Bugatti or something
Yeah.
like that. I was gonna take like an old like Chevy Nova and just
And just be in your garage and just tinker
just
with
go
it.
crazy
Yeah.
with it. And that's what I love about that game because it gives car nerds like me stuff to do.
Yeah.
That makes me really happy
yeah.
because this is one of those rare things where I don't know what you're talking about, but it's nice that you're so passionate about it. I'm like, oh, good job. Good job.
Well, I mean,
So-
it's like that with the fishing simulator in Far Cry.
Absolutely. It's the same effect.
I
Yeah.
love the passion of other people.
Everyone
Yeah,
should
yeah.
have something.
Exactly.
Right.
There you go.
And,
Hot
and for me,
the coldest take, I think.
I'm not gonna sit in my room and like buy a $1,000 racing simulator with the
the
gears
gears
and
share.
and stuff.
What are you talking
I
about?
don't care enough, you know. I'm cool sitting there on a controller, piddling around through the woods, whatever. But that's why that deserves an honorable mention for me because it was such a well-rounded game.
Yeah.
And it was complete. And Forza does a really good job of releasing content because new cars keep coming out all the time, and they release new races and new events. Like they tied in so much cool stuff with that game too. Like there's one event where you like race in a Warthog from Halo. And
Really?
You're like,
I didn't
you're like
know
listening
that.
to Cortana, and she's like telling you where to go. It's really cool.
Okay.
Okay, quick question. Are the Top Gear boys in it again, or
They are.
Them boys.
I haven't.
Matt
found
LeBlanc?
because I think they
Joey.
went off of that after the whole BBC thing
Okay,
happened.
yeah, okay. Just wondering because
and-
I really
and-
appreciated that in the last one.
Really, they weren't really ever in the Horizon games.
I don't
They
know
were
which
in-
one I played.
They were
They
in
were
the
in the-
Forza Motorsport games,
Yeah,
which
that's
were
right,
the like
that's
the
right.
pure like track racing games.
The
Yeah.
pure.
Right. They weren't. They were in the. They were in the linear games, not
okay.
the open world ones. But I did really appreciate them in those games.
Okay, just
But
quick
yeah,
question.
Forza 4 honorable mention, Battlefield 5 honorable mention.
Celia.
Hi, Celia.
And I'm gonna sound like a bit of a broken record here.
Game of the year.
Game of the year is. It has to be Red Dead. It's
Right,
gotta
my boy,
be.
it's gotta be.
It's got to be.
Any
Because
other year. Absolutely.
And I know Angela's partial to God of War because, but that franchise is part of your childhood.
yeah, it's a personal
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been part of my childhood. But yes,
But it was.
It was.
It was.
And I understand why you love it so much. And I've seen gameplay of the new God of War. It looks incredible. And for me, I think any other year, God of War would have won it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of on the opposite side of that fence. But for me, Red Dead, you're absolutely right. It's 10 out of 10 the whole way through, stem to stern.
It doesn't make sense how that game exists.
No.
It
Right.
doesn't.
It-
It's like, how did they make this?
Like, I genuinely think they held their employees as slaves. Because
Here's-
from the rumors,
here's
from
three
what
most
they've
game
done,
companies do.
yeah, it's insane how they managed.
Three
to develop
reasons
it.
How we
why
run the real deal.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is the game of the year. One, once you get past how long it takes to do things, the game is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no, if that is the only complaint that somebody has with that game,
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
takes too long.
Okay,
and
all
we're
right.
not just, we're
I
not
hate
just,
playing games for too long.
and you can nitpick any game in the world. There's some funky stuff that happens here and there, but from top to bottom, it's not laggy, it's not glitchy. The voice acting is incredible. The characters' movements line up with everything. And it's not like it's just on the story missions. It is all the
Everywhere.
time.
Yeah.
Every person that you interact with, every
And you can interact with
every
anyone.
person
Every
in
single
the game,
person.
every single person, and that's not even counting how many hours they spend in writing this game, writing the story for this. It's just mind blowing because we talk about perfect world games all the time, right? Like in a perfect world, this game would exist. Red Dead is that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is that game. And even in the epilogue, when you're
Ah!
I'm not gonna spoil anything, but
Okay.
in the post game,
Just yell some more. And
when
I'm
you're,
the
when you're
sensitive one.
mostly finished with it,
Yeah.
and it's like you said, you're like, all right, you know, it kind of tapers off, and that's an epilogue. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wraps up the story in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't need to play it forever.
It's still the same game
Yeah.
from an aesthetic standpoint and from a playability standpoint. You're still encountering the same things and your real world encounters with people. You can help people, hurt people, do whatever you want to do.
You can still hogtie people and place them on train
That's
tracks.
absolutely,
That's
you're
all I want
absolutely
in a
right.
game.
And that's all
want
I
in a
do.
You
game.
can
That's
lasso
all I
them
do
and
now.
drag them behind
Yep.
your horse and take them wherever you want to take them.
Yeah.
That's why it's the game of the year. The second reason,
That's one reason.
so the second reason
This is as long as
was-
Red Dead 2.
No, the second reason was the amount of depth of field that the game has.
Yeah.
So the
graphical fidelity and whatnot
Oh my
is
God.
right,
incredible.
right. So your interactions with everyone, what we talked about earlier, and then the third one was how well written the story was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are your three reasons. I mean, it's just it's got to be. There's no other answer. There's nothing that even in my book at least holds a candle to it. I haven't played God of War, so I can't be.
I think it's the only thing that comes close in a way. The thing is,
Yeah.
well, Celeste is apples and oranges.
Yeah, yeah.
Complete.
Yeah, they're all fruit.
One's a pixel.
Yeah, one's
pixelated, platformer. The other one's a.
Well, here's the thing: is that I don't even think even with the level that God of War is made on in terms of the graphical fidelity, the detail, and whatnot, I don't think anyone, no matter what your game of the year is for Spider-Man, even if people like the different
Falls on
people,
nobody.
like,
Yeah,
there's
no.
people who think Fortnite's their game of the year for different reasons. I don't think that you can stand by and say that not respect how Red Dead was made.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like I said,
Yeah.
I don't know how it was made.
It
It's so
seems
far above.
impossible.
Slave driving, bro.
Like even
Yeah.
like Grand Theft Auto 5 is still a modern
Going.
game. It
Yeah.
should be a 2018 game, and compared to it, it looks like a piece of garbage written
Yeah.
like a. It's like
Yeah.
so. Yeah, you make a lot of good points, and I couldn't agree more.
I just want to. I haven't played God of War, but I just want to put it into something that I've noticed and I really appreciate. This year, there's a lot of issues. Fallout 76, with innovating a game series and
Yeah.
changing it to make it different. From what I've seen of God of War, it seems like they perfectly got the balance.
Yeah, they did it in the
It's-
right ways.
It's like it's
Yeah.
different, where it's like something new, but it's like the same.
It's still good.
It's still
Here's the thing,
God of War.
it's still good.
It's still. It's not. It used to be a gore fest in cinematic
Yeah.
for the sake of it. Now
Yeah.
it still has that, but has meaning behind it.
Yes.
It doesn't sacrifice its point.
Yeah, the gameplay looks different. It's like a third person over the shoulder now.
S-
compared to,
Soulsy,
like-
you know, a
yeah,
little
Soulsy, but it's like, I applaud the developers for God of War
Yeah,
for like
same
managing
with-
to change it up.
Same with
and
Red
make it-
Dead.
Yeah.
Expanding instead of changing.
Yeah, this year was great on the developers. Every single thing. Yeah.
Except for
yeah.
EA.
EA and Bethesda. And, all right. Well,
Okay, well.
we ended on
scratch it.
positive.
Yeah.
on that bombshell.
Thank you guys for tuning in to not only this episode, but this full season, mid-season, whatever happens, I don't know, of 8-Bit Chat. I always appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much to Logan, Parker, and Noah for joining me. This has been my favorite episode. It's been a ton of fun helping us,
yeah.
talking with you guys. Hope to see you guys again. Hope that we're back. I don't know
Yeah,
what
we'll
happens.
see.
We'll see.
I have
be
no,
back
I
in
have no
some
say.
We might all
capacity.
die.
We'll talk
Who
about
knows?
games.
Somehow.
We'll find a way.
We'll find a way.
Nonetheless, this was a ton of fun. Thank you guys for listening, tuning in, however you did, and have a great end of 2018, and hopefully we'll see you in 2019.
That's right.
Dun, 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 dun.